Welcome back to Bay Sunday. It sits just 30 miles south of San Francisco, but you'll likely never see anything like it in the Bay Area. It's a throwback to yesteryear, a beautiful country estate, 36,000 square feet, complete with lush gardens and a window of what life was like many years ago. It was built back in 1915. It's been preserved and is now a treasured California landmark. It's called the Filoli, and it sits on over 600 beautiful acres. And yes, it is open to the public. Here to chat, Filoli's director, Cynthia D'Agosta, and horticulture manager Jim Salyards. How are you guys?
Good. Good
Welcome.
to meet you.
One more, Jim. Oh, big stretch right there. Well, give our. I've never been there, but after going to your website, and Elizabeth Winger, our traffic gal, had her second date there with her husband. Says the place is just gorgeous, just beautiful. Give us a little history.
It is just beautiful, and you fall in love with it as soon as you drive up, actually. The estate was built in 1915, as you said, by the Bourne family, and they have two other properties in the Bay Area also, so they were very pronounced Bay Area people at the time, but this was their country estate. And so we've got orchards, we've got pictures. That's the entry to the house. Magnificent, and as you said, 36,000 square feet. The house has period objects within it, so it is as if it's a museum when you walk through. These are some of our gardens that Jim is responsible for.
Jim, you want to talk a little bit about the gardens? I have beautiful tulips there. And,
yeah,
I know
16 acres of formal gardens. We do two major plantings in the year. Spring is definitely our peak time. We do about 100,000 bulbs in spring, so a lot of people just come down to see the bulbs. But a collection of all kinds of spring blooming plants, and then we transition into summer with beautiful beds and summer blooming shrubs and trees. So there's something all times of the year that are beautiful.
Say, for you, it's like painting the Golden Gate Bridge. Your job never stops, right?
Right.
Spring's here. Okay, great. Boom. Summer.
Right.
Okay.
I'm thinking about summer already. Yeah.
How many different species of plant do you have? Do you have any idea?
Oh, probably 10,000 different. Between different varieties of camellias and magnolias and things like that. Yeah, it approaches 10,000.
And I would imagine our weather here is just perfect.
Right. It is.
Everything.
It is. And what's unique about Filoli is we're kind of in a little pocket in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and so the weather is a little colder, which allows us to grow things that most people can't grow well in a lot of other warmer parts of the Bay Area, like lilacs and peonies and things that you don't see in many people's gardens.
Now, do you have a big garden at your house?
I actually live on site, so.
Oh, you do? Okay.
He's one of the lucky ones.
I guess so. Well, it's certainly big enough. And take us through, give us a little visual tour in your mind of what we would see if we went inside.
Inside the house?
Inside the house itself.
Inside the house. When you walk in, you're introduced through this portico, which has on either side of it the areas where women on one side, men on the other side would check in and hang your coats and prep yourself, and then you walk into the reception room, which has views out to the back garden, and then you go one side of the house, you go to the libraries and the ballroom and the formal entrance to the upstairs, which is where all the bedrooms and things were, and then if you go to the left, you go to the dining rooms and the kitchens plural, and some of the staff and the staff quarters and
so
things
it's
like that.
A country, it's like a southern country estate,
it
or
is.
Georgia, just beautiful.
Yes,
just beautiful.
Yes.
And I know you guys, you host a lot of things.
We do.
Obviously,
we do.
Talk about some of the neat events you guys have.
We have probably about 15 different events throughout the year that are prominent. The next one coming up, I think Jim was going to talk a little bit about, is the Autumn Festival, which is a family event and also celebrates our orchard collection that we have. And then we will move into what we call Holiday Traditions in December, and that is where the house gets decorated up for the holidays. And it's a shopping boutique for the holidays also. Oh, wow. And we have luncheons and children's events and teas and different things going on for 6 days, 7 days during December. We do that. And then we're closed for January, and from February to October we host other events. Mother's Day is one of our big events.
Big Flower Day,
Big
right?
flower. We do a flower show, which is a very popular flower show. And again, we do teas and lunches and things like that. For
and jazz
mothers.
too, right?
We have a jazz.
20 plus years now.
25 years next season. We have this weekend is our last one for this season. Every other Sunday throughout the summer, we have a jazz festival.
Okay, well, that's coming up. We'll talk about your autumn event, too.
Yeah, the autumn event celebrates the importance of the fruit at Filoli. Mr. Bourne had a gentleman's orchard, which is a collection of many different varieties of fruit trees that was on the property, and over the years we've worked to rehabilitate that and now celebrate all the different varieties of fruit. So people can come and taste 30 varieties of apple, 10 varieties of pears, grapes, and other different fruits. And we're doing more and more with the fruit. Now we're starting to do our own preserves that we'll be selling at our gift shop. But there are all kinds of kids' activities, face painting and bubble man and
Cider making.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
throwback. I was on the East
Yeah.
Coast for a number of years, and autumn comes and you put the hay bales on your
Yep.
front yard,
Right.
you get the scarecrow out, you go out and pick apples, have
Yep.
a little cider.
That's
So
exactly what
a little
we do.
feel for that.
Yeah.
That
Exactly
ki-
what we do.
That kind
yeah.
of educational programs too for kids
Oh,
and
my.
for adults.
And
as
for
well,
adults,
right?
we host over 200 different programs throughout the year in classes, from botanical drawing to iPhone photography
Oh, my
in the
gosh.
garden, and then children's programs such as painting and drawing and things like that. Yeah. Yeah.
My goodness. Now, you're
a
closed
lot.
in January. Are you in the Caribbean in January? Do you get out,
I
you
wish.
get out of Dodge a little bit?
I'd like to. We are closed in January. Yes.
I bet.
Yes.
I bet we all need a little bit of a break.
Yes.
And do you ever stop, Jim? I imagine. I mean, do you
No,
do you take
yeah.
a day off and just get away from the flora and the fauna?
Occasionally, but there's always planning to, that it's happening. We always have to be thinking ahead, learning from what went well one year and what we're going to do the following year. So it's always a work in progress. Always trying to improve and give people a different experience each time they come. It changes through the seasons,
Sure.
but we don't want people to come every spring and see the same exact display. It has to be different each year. So
Absolutely.
it takes work. Yeah.
I bet it does. I bet it does. How big's your maintenance crew? Just taking
We
care
have
of
14 on the garden staff, but Filoli is known for its volunteer corps. We have 130 who work in the garden alone.
Wow.
And then we have an intern program as well. So we have student interns who come from all over the country and the world who study with us for 10 weeks and learn about horticulture and help us, maintain the grounds.
And Cynthia, I have a great family day. Go out, check out the house and the gardens. How much is it? When do we come? How's that all?
Our season is February through October, with the exception of in December we have the holiday tradition. Other than that, we're closed November, December, and January. So basically our hours are 10:30 to 3:30, and Tuesday through Sunday. So you can come out anytime during that period. We've got several open late evenings also. You need to check our website for those because those vary month by month, but you can come out in the evening and enjoy the place also. It's $20 for an individual admission, and then it goes down. Children are $8. So it's,
I imagine Mr. Bourne, William Bowers Bourne, he owned the Empire Mine
Yep.
and had a big water company
Yep.
down there in the peninsula. And I bet he's smiling right now because
I
the
hope so.
tradition continues and you guys are sharing it with everybody.
I hope so.
Very, very nice. So thanks so much for coming
You
in.
bet. Thank
Wish
you
all the
very
best.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah, come down and see us soon.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. I'm a big flower guy myself. My sister flourished for 30 some odd years. So I had to be.
She'd love it.
She would. And there it is in all its splendor, folks. For more information about Filoli, log on to filoli.org. That's filoli.org. Back with more Bay Sunday. We're going to have a little piece of Broadway when we come back. Stay right there.